Welcome to perhaps the toughest test of man and machine on the planet, the 2002 World Rally Championship. 14 events spanning 4 continents on mud, gravel, tarmac, snow and ice. This is a championship where teamwork is essential. Most important of all is the bond between driver and co-driver.
Anyway, well done. Well done.
Each of those 14 rallies is fought out over 3 days, with 2 world titles up for grabs for the champion driver and champion manufacturer. It all begins here in the millionaire's playground of Monte Carlo on the shores of the Mediterranean. The rally might be based in Monte Carlo, but the competitive action takes place in the mountains to the north and west of the Principality. Over 1,400 kilometres in total, 400 of which are the 15-time special stages, the event is run on the twisty tarmac roads of southern France, where simply choosing the wrong tyre could make the difference between victory and defeat. Snow and ice are always a factor, waiting to trap the unwary or the foolhardy, and there have been plenty of those over the years. 2002 marks the 70th running of the Monte Carlo Rally, making it the oldest event in the World Rally Championship. It's also the most prestigious. This is one rally everybody wants to win. Just 8 weeks ago, Richard Burns was crowned as the 2001 World Drivers' Champion. It's all changed for Burns for 2002, however. He and his co-driver Robert Reid have joined the reigning manufacturers' champions Peugeot, but the defence of both titles has a tricky start.
The roads are very, very greasy, and to know when you're coming into a corner on a very narrow mountain road exactly what you've got and how the car is going to react, then that's the crucial thing to confidence.
Championship runner-up Colin McRae and his co-driver Nicky Grist saw last year's Monte Carlo Rally end in retirement. McRae venting his frustration on the car. The event might not be on his list of favourites, but the 1995 world champion still acknowledges that it's special.
It's Monte Carlo, it's the name, isn't it? It's been around for years, and it's an event that everybody knows about, even people that are not in motorsport know Monte Carlo.
For 2002, McRae stays with the Ford team, as does the twice former champion Carlos Sainz. The Spaniard last won here in 1998 and is keen to repeat that performance and begin his season with a victory.
We always try, you never know. Let's have a good start, even if the rally looks quite dry at the moment and maybe not very favorable for us, but it's always good to start with a good result.
Joining McRae and Sainz for all 14 events this year is the young Estonian driver Marko Martin, who drove for Subaru last year, while replacing Richard Burns at Subaru is the 4 times world champion Tommi Mäkinen, who's looking for a record-breaking 4th successive win on the Monte Carlo Rally, but knows it'll be far from easy.
It's always difficult to say before the rally where you are. It's new team, new car. It's little difference. Of course, I need some more experience from the different conditions.
The 2000 world champion Marcus Gronholm stays at Peugeot to partner Burns, but the team's best chance of an early victory probably rests with tarmac specialist Gilles Panizzi in the number 3 car.
All the team and me, we are very confident. So Monte Carlo is Monte Carlo.
Subaru's number 2, Petter Solberg, is still looking for his first rally win and will be hoping to erase memories of his spectacular retirement from last year's Monte Carlo. Elsewhere, it's all change. Mitsubishi have an all-new lineup for 2002. Francois Delacour joins from Ford, while making the move from Hyundai is an upbeat Alistair McRae.
We've done testing for Sweden and testing for here. It's a great team, it's working well. We've won quite a few World Championships, so they know how to do that.
Swapping places with McRae is Freddie Loix, who moves from Mitsubishi to Hyundai to partner Armin Schwarz. The German driver joins the team from Skoda, the 6th and final manufacturer to contest all 14 rounds. Their team leader will be Kenneth Eriksson, co-driven by fellow Swede Tina Turner. There is, however, a seventh team, Sisteron, contesting 7 of the 14 rallies. Their lineup includes the 2001 Junior World Champion Sebastian Loeb, Filip Bugalski and Thomas Rodström, all of whom will be looking to repeat the team's victory in Corsica last year. These then are the crews contesting the 2002 World Rally Championship. 14 nationalities are represented, an impressive sight as the class of 2002 faced the cameras for the first time.
The FIA World Rally Championship, presented by Subaru, the beauty of all-wheel drive.
The Peugeot 206 of world champion Richard Burns led the crews across the start ramp last night, but it wouldn't be until this morning that the action began. Based around a service area in Digne-les-Bains, 5 stages made up leg 1, including 2 runs through the infamous Sisteron stage. To get between the stages, the cars travel along public roads, and those road sections can sometimes spring unwelcome surprises. Gilles Panizzi's season began badly when his car refused to even turn over this morning. Eventually it did struggle into life, but it had been a rude awakening. Less fortunate was Thomas Rodström, whose Citroën had trailed smoke as it crossed the start ramp last night. Sure enough, it ground to a halt before dawn had broken.
Thomas, you have the unfortunate honour of being the first retirement of the 2002 season.
Yes, that's almost unbelievable, but that's true.
Can you tell us what the problem was?
It's something with the engine. We don't really know, but it's not running.
But there was worse to come for Citroën. At least Filip Bugalski made it into the cold light of a French dawn, but his engine soon suffered the same fate as that of his Swedish colleague.
I think the problem is his engine, the same problem than Thomas, but I'm not sure now. But it's very horrible.
So Citroën were already down to just 1 car, and the first stage hadn't even started. The team had already changed an engine on Sebastian Loeb's car yesterday, so there were concerns that a common problem was threatening their entire entry. Service halts allow the teams to remedy accident damage or mechanical problems, and so Gilles Panizzi must have been particularly relieved to reach his mechanics in Digne-les-Bains.
My car joke this morning, she don't want to start. And yes, after I have little problem with the throttle pedal, and after it was okay.
His team leader, Richard Burns, had no such worries and could afford to look ahead to the stages and the tactics he'd be using.
Richard, it all starts here, the defence of last year's championship. What's your frame of mind?
Quite relaxed, just taking it all in. You know, it's fortunately the conditions are very similar to the recce, so we've got a good idea what tyre to take and what to expect. I mean, we just have to be careful. There is some ice in the top in the hairpins and some ice and snow. We just have to go slowly there.
The first stage of the new season was a 28.7-kilometre test between the villages of Selonay and Turier. Mid-January in these parts is normally a snowy affair, but this year's Monte looks like being the driest for years, and that's bound to have an effect on the result. Richard Burns and Robert Reid arrived at the start of the stage, their first for Peugeot.
20, right press 40, slide to the left, 50 flat right, big cut, 30 flat left, minus in at 20, flat to right, 50, slight left.
With only 8 brief weeks since the end of the 2001 campaign, Burns hasn't had much chance to get used to the new car, and so the plan to take things fairly easily seemed to be the sensible option.
Double crest 80, slight left, double long crest 80, slight right, ice from here, 60, slight left, long, 60, braking, worse, long crest 50, medium left, long, 30, medium right, tightens, long.
A covering of ice meant the stage was no place for heroics, yet stage 1 was a perfect illustration of the unpredictable nature of the event. Snow and ice 1 minute, dry tarmac and a more committed style the next. Now a chance to see the kind of form which made Richard Burns the World Rally Champion.
40, slow K right minus tightens maybe long, 40, medium left plus cut, opens 70, flat left minus, cut 50, right max 80, long crest penta 90 left plus, don't cut, tightens maybe, 100, right max 20, right max 250, slight left 40, easy right plus, to easy right plus long, 60, easy right plus, to easy right plus 70, fast left plus and fast left 40, right max 60, slight right, go 120 braking, flat right 20, flat right 30, 90 left, plus long, in.
Burns had forecast taking things steadily because of the ice, yet it was a dry stretch of road which saw the reigning world champion give us our first near miss of the year. And what a near miss it was.
To flat left 50, long crest and slight right 30, flat left plus into flat right plus in 60.
Yet luckily the car ended up on a gravel track, and so Burns was able to quickly drive on, no doubt relieved to have escaped so lightly. Only 15 seconds or so were lost, and the Peugeot was 13th quickest on the stage.
And fast right, 150, flat right and easy right in.
Colin McRae's Ford Focus was next. Like Burns, McRae was desperate to avoid an early retirement and seemed to have also been taking it easy.
Then 6 left opens over crest, into Bucknell, to 6 right over crest, and 6 left opens, into Care crest, and 3 left tightens. Into 3 right plus over crest.
Slipping and sliding on the ice, the Scot was on Pirelli tyres, unlike Burns, who was on Michelin rubber. Pirelli had actually developed a brand new tyre specifically for the expected icy conditions, but the dry and relatively warm weather had caught them out too, it seemed.
Into 6 right over crest, and 6 left over crest, into left tightens to 4 plus, 30. Slow 4 right over crest, slippy maybe. Into left and 3 right plus opens. And 6 left tightens. And 6 right cut, 30. 6 right into left tightens to 5 plus line. Into Care, 5 right tightens over narrow bridge. Into turn, 6 left minus. And 6 right and 4 left plus opens. 50. Long 5 right plus, into 6 crest and left through dip tightens to 5 over crest, line, into long 3 right plus, 30, long 2 left, opens, and 6 right into 3 left plus line, 4 left plus, and 4 right tightens, 30, right tightens to 4 minus, and crest and 3 left plus, and 4 right, and slow, and 4 right, and slow 3 left tightens, and long 2 right, opens, and 6 left, and jump maybe, 50.
Dry tarmac isn't normally a happy hunting ground for Pirelli, but McRae and co-driver Nicky Grist were 3rd fastest on stage 1. The top 3 times, in fact, were all set by cars on the Italian rubber. This was just the start the pair needed, a confidence boost at the very least, an indication of things to come, more than likely. Despite changing teams, Tommy Mäkinen's confidence was sky high before the start. His regular co-driver, Risto Männisen-Mäki, is still recovering from their accident in Corsica last year, so stand-in Kai Lindstrom once again deputised. Lindstrom is struggling with flu, but that didn't seem to slow the Finnish pair. Their Subaru Impreza was 2nd fastest on the stage, a clear sign that Mäkinen meant business. Marcus Gronholm was 9th fastest on the opening stage. He and his co-driving brother-in-law Timo Rautiainen also seem to be playing the waiting game. This is an event where anything can happen, remember. Now let's face it, do you and your brother-in-law ever go for a drive quite like this?
Vaseri jouhee yli nypyn 7 ja liukas jarrutuslaseri suppuu jäätä ja oikein nopea jäätä. 7 liukas jarrutuslaseri miinus jäätä ja vasen nopea ja oikealle vasen oikein täys 100. 4 vaseri miinus ahdas 200. Talot vasemmalle ja oikein nopea jäälaikku. 2 ja vasen pitkä hidas kirraa. 5 ja oikein eri leikkaa. Jatkuu oikein eri tiukka leikkaa. 100 ja oikein eri leikkaa ahdas. 5 ja oikein eri miinus ahdas. 8 vaseri miinus.
Harry Rovanperä won in the snow in Sweden last year, but tarmac is more the preserve of his teammate, Gilles Panizzi. The blue Peugeot was 12th fastest, but still quicker than Burns. It was left to a Spaniard, Carlos Sainz, to set the fastest time and take an early lead. Sainz and Lewis Moyer were 9/10ths of a second faster than Mäkinen, despite that slight error. So the first car to lead a World Championship round this year was a Ford, not a Subaru. 4th fastest was Panizzi, but he picked up a 2-minute 10-second time penalty when he was 13 minutes late leaving the service area following a gearbox change. Francois Delacour's first outing for Mitsubishi began fairly cautiously, 11th fastest, although the Frenchman's commitment and concentration appeared as high as ever.
195 bon. Plus gauche frein corde du mid-mat, en droite 50. 50 mètres, gauche 120, frein dans la 90. Dans gauche 95, bon long. 10 mètres, gauche 70, tard en épingle. 50 mètres, droite 60, tard en épingle. Plus gauche à fond, 150 mètres, droite 95, bon. Plus gauche frein corde du mid-mat, en droite 50. Plus gauche à fond, givre après d'ici, 50 mètres, gauche 80.
My name's Betty.
Oh. Stalling on the start line was a slight embarrassment to Petter Solberg, but it was followed by a slight off, and so 14th fastest was the best the young Norwegian could manage. But Solberg and Burns weren't the only ones lucky to escape stage 1 unscathed. This is the Hyundai of Armin Schwarz.
Into first right for short, minus into left for short. 80. Double Porsche, cross right 2 to 3 slip. Immediate junction right 3, okay. Shop open. 80. Porsche, ice left 2 to 3.
Both Hyundai drivers obviously enjoyed stage 1. Despite that scare, Schwarz was 5th, while Freddie Loix was 8th. Sisteron honours were now being upheld by Sebastian Loeb, but any thoughts of driving cautiously to preserve the engine were quickly dismissed. The Frenchman was 7th fastest, but no doubt had his fingers firmly crossed. Now this amazing shot is from the front fender of Alistair McRae's car.
Right onto the medium liner. 50. Front right 30. Front right 50. Braking front right to full crest and medium left front right. Full crest. 120. Narrow into village. Yeah, braking medium left front and full crest and medium right. Fair slipping. 50 on the medium right. And tail on tight six. Into medium right.
The top 6 finishers of each event all score championship points, so those places are highly prized. Skoda, therefore, were delighted with Roman Cresta's performance, 6th quickest, ahead of Loeb and the rest. And so the first leaderboard of the new season. Carlos Sainz, the rally leader, with the top 6 covered by just 13.6 seconds. Panizzi's time penalty, meanwhile, meant he had dropped to 29th place. Surely any hope of a good result had gone. The end of stage 1 saw drivers and co-drivers out of their cars and swapping their tyres around. Stage 2 was the first of 2 runs through Sisteron, a stage which has decided the rally in the past, and so to have the best possible grip from the tyres was crucial. Events, however, would dictate that Sisteron wouldn't trouble the crews on the first morning. The stage's fearsome reputation meant that thousands of spectators had packed into the 36 kilometres, and the event organisers weren't at all happy with the situation. A steady stream of fans leaving the stage told the story. Stage 2 had been cancelled, leaving 4 to count on leg 1. The view from above gives some idea of the headache facing the organisers. Hundreds of cars lined the stage, with spectators standing on the outside of bends, leaving the drivers nowhere to go in the event of an accident. Safety, both of crews and fans, is paramount, and so there was only one decision which could have been taken, no matter how unhappy it left those fans.
Richard, how was that first stage of the rally?
Okay, of course there was some difficult bits. I made a mistake about halfway through. I came over a crest, and when the car landed I was too far on the inside of the road, and it sort of jumped off the other side of the road and into a field, and came to a rest. When all the dust settled, I put it in first gear and drove off, so we lost about 10 or 15 seconds there.
First stage down to Carlos Sainz, you've won that. How was it?
Well, it was a bit tricky in the icy parts, but after it was dry, so not major drama. Car working okay, no problems.
Tommy, just 0.9 of a second off winning stage 1. How was it?
Very good feeling. Straight away it was good feeling. First stage with brand new car and brand new tyre, it was very enjoyable.
Colin, how was the first stage of the rally?
It went well. It was. It's always a bit of an unknown. Monte Carlo, first rally, in quite mixed conditions. It was quite slippy in a few places, so it was good. We were happy with it.
The rally resumed with stage 3, a rerun of the opening test which had seen Burns' lucky escape. This time, though, there were no dramas. 10th fastest suggested that caution was still the order of the day, but Burns was happy enough. This was still a learning exercise, and taking unnecessary risks wouldn't be particularly sensible at this point.
Braking, left max cut 10, flat right tightens in, 20 braking, left max 60, slow K left damp and ice maybe, and slow K left ice maybe tightens, 40, medium left damp in and medium left plus damp, 100 flat right plus, the flat right plus in 80, flat right minus 20, flat right minus in, 200, slow medium right long to slow medium right long.
Colin McRae followed up his 3rd place on stage 1 with equal 2nd fastest on 3, a performance which was enough to lift the focus into 2nd place, just 3.7 seconds behind the rally leader.
10 tightens the 3 plus gravel, and 6 right opens, 30k, 5 left plus tightens, frost continues into 6 crest and 6 left opens over crest, into bump into 6 right over crest and 6 left opens.
Tommy Mäkinen and Kai Lindstrom shared 2nd quickest time with McRae and Grist, but it was the Subaru which now led the rally. If Mäkinen had been surprised at his pace after stage 1, he must have been astonished after 3. Marcus Gronholm was just 3.2 seconds slower than McRae and Mäkinen through the 28.7 kilometres, and the Finn now led the Peugeot Challenge. He was now up to 5th place, over 30 seconds ahead of his new teammate, Richard Burns. After that stage win the first time through, Carlos Sainz and Luis Moya were unable to repeat that performance on the second. Power steering problems resulted in the 6th fastest time, and the early leaders had dropped to 3rd place. After his very public stall at the start of stage 1, Petter Solberg was determined to regain some of his dignity, and did so in style. He and co-driver Phil Mills set the fastest time, a stunning 12 seconds up on anyone else, which meant the pair had climbed to 6th overall. Hyundai's joy at their times from stage 1 was short-lived. Armin Schwartz was 7th fastest on stage 3, but Freddie Loix's first rally for his new team was destined to end in retirement, in the most dramatic of fashions. Loix and co-driver Sven Smits were shaken, with Freddie being taken to hospital for a precautionary check-up on an injured foot.
We came down the left corner, and then just when we wanted to go into the right, we hit the inside of the bridge, and then we took Freddie's side on the left side, and we knocked off 2 wheels and got quite a big hit.
5th fastest on the stage, and by now 4th overall were Sebastian Loeb and Daniel Elena. The pair finished a superb 2nd on last year's San Remo rally in Italy, in addition to winning the Super 1600 Championship, and Sisteron obviously expect great things from them. We've seen Colin McRae's driving style. Let's ride with his little brother, Alistair. This was how things stood after stage 3. The top 6 were covered by just under 21 seconds, while Richard Burns lay over 51 seconds behind his replacement in the Subaru team. On the road section after the stage, Sainz attempted a makeshift repair to his power steering, attracting the attention and advice of his teammate. Welcome back to the 2002 Monte Carlo Rally. And now for the next few minutes, let's ride on board with some of the world's best drivers.
Right max in 30 flat left, and in tightens 60 long crest, ice maybe, bumpy to slight left, 50 crest braking, 70 flat left, then slippy, 20 fast right, slippy, 70 braking, flat right to easy right long, patchy ice, 20 ice, medium left in, damp, 20 fast right minus, up, 20k left in tightens bad, 20k right in tightens long, damp, 40 flat left, 80 crest, 60 easy left damp, to easy left over crest in, 60 turn medium right plus, and medium right in, 30 flat left.
200 mètres sec, gauche 120 bon long corde, pas faussé, gauche 120 bon long corde, pas faussé, 50 mètres, c'est l'entrée léger droite pleine corde, plus gauche à fond bref corde, et droite à fond pleine corde, plus gauche 125, droite 120 mi-corde à fond, 150 mètres, gauche 115, dans la 95 bon corde.
6 right and 6 right over crest, and bump keeping into left tightens to 4. And 6 crest 30, 5 right and 5 left minus tighten, slippy maybe. And jump maybe 50, 6 crest, frosting continues, keep left into crest, keep left 30, 4 left plus, 4 left plus. And 4 right tightens 30.
8 ja oikealle vaseri jouhe yli nypyn urat lopussa. 5. Ja nypy vaseri jouhe yli nypyn. 7 ja liukas jarrutus vaseri suppuu jäätä. Ja oikein nopea jäätä. 7 ja liukas jarrutus oikein miinus jäätä. Ja vasen nopea.
30 caution. Right 4 minus at house, black top slip, 30 tightens 2 to 3 narrow. In left 4. 80. Left 3 to 4 short. Into right 3 to 4. 30 caution, tricky, after house right 3 to 4 minus into junction, left 2 to 3 little tight. 30. Right 3 long tight. Immediate.
Vaseri helppo. 5. Vaseri jouhee. 7. Nyppy oikee eri. Leikkaa vähän. Ja vasenlaita oikein helppo. Ja vaseri tiukka, paha sumppu. 110. Ja vasemmalle oikein nopea kirraa. 150. Oikein eri miinus.
Into 3 right plus over crest. And 6 left minus. Into 6 right minus line. Into 6 left. And 6 right. Opens over crest 50. 6 right and 6 right over crest. And bump keeping into left tightens. And 6 crest 30. 5 right and 5 left minus tighten, slippy maybe.
20 mètres, 70 stars en épingle. Plus gauche à fond corde. 150 mètres. Gauche 125 pleine corde. 200 mètres. Gauche 60 tard. Gauche 60 tard. 100 mètres. Léger droite. 350 mètres. Droite 105 bon tard. Droite 105 bon tard. Droite 105 bon tard. 100 mètres. Droite 105 bon bref.
Harrison Shop with the FIA World Rally Championship, Presented by Subaru, the beauty of all-wheel drive.
With the earlier spectator problems now sorted out, Stage 4 was able to run as planned. That, as Sainz knew too well, was the daunting Sisteron stage, the 36.7 kilometres of tight, twisty tarmac road, which guarantees a daunting mix of dry, damp, icy and snowy conditions. Definitely not a stage for the faint-hearted. It was, though, a stage which Richard Burns obviously enjoyed. Sixth fastest, the Peugeot new boy had lifted himself into 7th place, 22 seconds behind the all-important top 6.
50, left and long, 1 right, tightens maybe. Into 6 left, 120. Long 2 left, line. 30. 3 right plus cut. Straight 30. And left tightens to 4 line. And 6 left and 6 right, 70.
Colin McRae's impressive performance continued through Sisteron. Third fastest, a little over 21 seconds slower than the stage winner, although a slight misdemeanour meant he dropped to 3rd place.
4 left plus over crest and care 3 left, tight, slippy, and slow 3 left down, don't cut, and continues. And 3 right plus, and into 4 right, into 3 left minus, opens.
Mäkinen was still ahead of McRae, despite dropping nearly 2 seconds to the Flying Scot. Tommy's confidence, however, remained sky high. He'd already commented that he felt that he could win the event after the very first stage. Such was his happiness at the feeling of the Subaru. Marcus Gronholm edged closer to the leading trio by setting the 2nd fastest stage time. A lot's been said about a potential feud between Gronholm and Burns this year, but the opening day of the World Rally Championship had seen a commanding performance from the Finn. Time will tell, though, whether the pair will turn out to be the best of friends.
Sisältä 150, hae oikee, eri ylinypyn 5 ja oikee eri miinus kivi sisällä. 200 ja oikee täys. 150. Hae vasen täys. 700. Nyppy vasemmalle 5 ja oikee eri. Toista nyppy vasemmalle 5 ja oikee eri. 5 ja oikee eri. 8. Vaseri tiukka ahdas. 7. Oikee eri. 8. Vasen nopea risteys ahdas. Ja oikee eri miinus. 100. Vasen täys. 8. Ja hae vasen täys. 120. Oikee eri tiukka. Ja vasen pitkä täys miinus suppu. Ja oikee täys. 7. Vasen täys yli nypyn 8. Vasen täys 7. Ja oikee eri tiukka. Kirraa. Vasen täys miinus sisältä ahdas. 150. Vaseri ehkä pyöreä kirraa. 8. Oikeeri helppo leikkaa.
Carlos Sainz had expected to lose more time thanks to the power steering fault, and sure enough he could only manage the 9th fastest stage time, over 42 seconds down on the winner.
A la hierba. Para derecha buena más, se abre. Te lo pongo el 3, ¿quieres o no? Para izquierda rápida menos, para derecha abrirse 1, derecha buena más, poco posible quinta de tierra ras. Ese trocito limpio y hielo fin. Derecha, buena más posible quinta para hielo fin, sigue hielo, izquierda rápido con mucho ras, se abre. Para derecha caliente de tierra y no cortar mucho. Y hielo fin, para uno muy corto frenando, izquierda media más, se cierra. Para uno corto. Derecha que corta de tierra ras.
Hyundai had seen Freddie Loix crash out on the previous stage, and so the team's hopes were now pinned on Armin Schwartz and co-driver Manfred Heimer. Their Monte Carlo rally would end in a similar fashion to their Belgian colleagues, however. Sisteron had claimed another scalp. But the rally's third competitive stage saw the third stage winner and the third driver to lead the event. Sebastian Loeb set the fastest time, a full 18 seconds clear of the pack, and leapt from fourth to first place. Citroen's day had turned from bitter disappointment to relief that Loeb's replacement engine hadn't gone the way of the others, and then to joy. Their man now led. Not bad for a 27-year-old.
Sebastian, a disastrous start for Citroen this morning with Bugalski and Radstrom going out, but elation for you, you're leading the rally now.
Yes, I'm very happy for that. It's clear at the beginning I was very careful in the first stage because I didn't want to make a mistake after what happened to the two Citroen other driver. But after that I had a good feeling with the car.
Are you surprised to be second to Sebastian Loeb after 4 stages?
Well, actually, I'm so surprised to be second. I would like to lead still, but we make a spin and we made a spin and we lost. I think we lost half a minute for that in Sisteron.
Loeb was again fastest on stage 5, the last of the day, and so this was how things stood as the cars headed for Monte Carlo and the overnight halt. Loeb's lead is 36.7 seconds tonight, with a total of 1 minute 10.4 seconds spanning the top 6. Richard Burns will start leg 2 in an encouraging 7th place. Who'd have thought it? A year ago, Sebastian Loeb was just starting his assault on the Super 1600 series, and now he leads the Monte Carlo Rally outright. This, though, is perhaps the most unpredictable event in an unpredictable sport. Join us again tomorrow night for highlights of Leg 2's 6 stages, but from Leg 1 of Round 1 of the 2002 World Rally Championship. Good night.